Okay, in my studio here, I have a lot of things going on. I do a lot of different things here, from live DJ sets in which I have over 15,000 vinyl records here in the studio. So imagine the organization that you need for that. On top of that, I am a music producer. So I have a whole section that's just for producing music. And then I'm a photographer and a filmmaker, so I need to organize like my lenses and all my camera gear. I'm also a content creator, so I make these videos on top of doing live streams every week, whether it's gaming or live music or live DJing. But with all of these different things that I'm involved in, it involves some type of technology or gear or some type of equipment. And along with this equipment comes all kinds of accessories like cables and power cords and connectors and all these other different things that sometimes you need those things to be readily available at any time. And some of these things you need to keep stock of. You need to have maybe multiple ones on stock, and you got to be able to organize this stuff. For me, organization is very important. And as my studio has grown over the years, organization has become even more important. I need to know where things can be stored, where things are. At any moment's time, I need to be able to go to an area and be able to pick out something and be able to use it right away and not be like tearing things apart or searching through bottoms of drawers just to find maybe a USB-C cable. One of the storage systems that I have used in the past is the sort of the plastic 3-drawer like rolling storage cart that you could get pretty much anywhere. Like you could go to Target and get it, or you could go to Container Store and get it. It really doesn't matter because it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing no matter where you get it, no matter how cheap you get it, no matter how expensive you get it. It's the same storage device that I've been using for decades. Funny thing is, I was talking about storage units on my stream the other week, and I brought up some old pictures where I showed how I had upgraded a computer system. This was like over 20 years ago. And when you're looking at the pictures, you could see the before and after. But you see this storage system that even back in the early 2000s, it's the exact same thing. It has not changed in decades. I'm not even sure when this thing was invented, but it has not changed. And something else that has not changed about it is the quality of it. After a while, it just sort of starts to fall apart. It does the job, don't get me wrong. It does the job that it's intended to do. It has drawers that you can pull out, you can put anything that you want in them. They even made like a really big one that I was using here in the studio. But then I started to realize the problems that I was creating for myself. Because as the years go by and these systems just sort of stay here, technology advances, so that means your equipment advances, your computers get upgraded, everything gets upgraded, even just from USB cables. But these storage units have always stayed the same. And the problem that I came upon was that in these storage units, I would just store things for years and years. So I had to rethink a few things. And one of those things was finding not just a better way of storing my gear and my tech and accessories, but a better looking way to store my tech and accessories. So for a while, I started searching for more modern and just better looking and stylish storage towers. And I kept seeing this company called Practiko. It kept coming up in my feed, and I would keep clicking on it and I'd keep looking at it. There were certain things that kept me from clicking that button. And one of those things was I was having a tough time finding reviews for it. And when I would find reviews, it would mostly be like on Reddit. It wasn't a whole lot going on. There weren't a lot of videos out there for it. And I just wasn't sure. Now, if you don't know anything about Practiko, I think they're a fairly new company. I think they've been around for a few years, and I think they're actually in the process of a brand changing. But for the most part, they make these really sleek and stylish storage units. One is called the Otis Tower, and then you have the Otis Hanger. And they have some other accessories too, like the edge and the pencil case, but there was still something keeping me from just diving in and purchasing it. I didn't see a whole lot of videos about it. I tried to search reviews and I wasn't really finding anything that was like really helping me make my decision. It was sort of like some good and some bad. It just wasn't anything that was trustworthy. So I took it upon myself to reach out to the company. I said, hey, I'm really interested in looking at your Otis towers and your organization systems, but I'm very hesitant because these things are quite expensive and I'm finding it really difficult to justify the price. If you look on the site, the Otis tower is $195. And again, when you're so used to buying like cheap storage units, like the ones I mentioned earlier that you can get from Target or any place really, these are very common. They're not very expensive. And again, they do the job. But what I found with the bigger units, which I thought would be a plus, is yeah, you're getting all this space, but after time, the wheels start to break off and the whole thing just becomes rickety. The drawers don't push in all the way. The top didn't seem to always connect and pop off. Getting the bigger size was sort of a mistake in more ways than one, because again, I found myself holding on to things that I really didn't need to hold on to. So my goal was to do two things. One, find a new stylish and modern, but definitely functional storage system. And two, get rid of all the stuff that I just wasn't using anymore. So after reaching out to Practiko, explaining, my hesitation, and I showed them some of the reviews and some of the videos that I make over devices and products and things like that, they were so kind to send me these products. And I have to say right away that I'm very impressed. Now, if that's all you wanted to hear me say, you can click away now and go out and buy yourself one. But I think you should listen to more. The first thing I noticed was when I first got the box, I noticed that the box was about the size of what the unit was supposed to be. And it turns out that's because it doesn't require a lot of assembly. There's a few things that you have to do, like how you want to organize your drawers. And there's different things that come with it. There are legs that go with this that are in the shape of sort of like a U that clamp on, and you could screw the feet on the bottom. So if you have like, say, uneven floors or you find it rocking, all you have to do is adjust the feet by just screwing them in or out, and it evens out very easily. So the full case itself is made of powder coated steel, and the drawers themselves are made of a polypropylene, sort of like a plastic. And I thought about why they made it this way. And I think there's several reasons. For example, it's already got some weight to it when it's made out of steel. So you wouldn't want to make the drawers also out of steel. So it makes sense that they're made of plastic, and they slide into the slots very easily. The drawers come in two different sizes. There's a shallow one, and then there's a deeper one. And they both come with these dividers that you can arrange however you want. Now, the way that I have mine set up is really not with any dividers at all. I think I may have used one in one of the drawers. It also comes with these little trays that you can also arrange. Say you have some really smaller things like screws or thumb drives that you want to keep separate. You could also use these little trays as separators. I've decided not to use these because they don't really work with my setup, but again, you have them. That's the beauty of this, is that it gives you options on how you really want to set this up. Now, the hanger I was a little worried about because I didn't think the hanger was going to work with my desk system because I have a glass desk. And I looked at how it was displayed on their website, and it seemed to work really well with like wooden desks or desks with some kind of depth in the wood. But it turns out it actually works perfectly with how my desk's built, and I was surprised just how secure it feels. The hanger itself, kind of out of the box, was really ready to go. I don't really remember doing any kind of assembly, but I have found it very useful. Now, one thing I had to get used to was having something on my desk that was right up to the edge of the desk. I'm not used to it, so I had to remember that I had this new thing there. That's really just a memory thing, and I think you can move this around on the desk anywhere you want. I mean, the thing is that it doesn't have to be at the front of the desk. It could be on the side, it could be anywhere you really want it to be, but I found it easier to move it away from where I was sitting so I wouldn't hit it with my knees again, because I'm not used to sitting at my desk and having something hanging right there. But eventually I found a place that it works best for me. Now, when I think about this storage system, there are not many companies out there that are considering this type of customer. When I was looking and I had my hesitation, I was trying to read a lot of the comments on different social media, And a lot of people were saying things like, oh, this company has the same thing for way cheaper. This company has the exact same thing at half the price. And I found none of that to be true. I looked at the companies that were mentioned. I looked at different companies that just make storage units, and no one seems to be making anything like this. And I do think there is a huge missed opportunity here. I think when you think about people that work at desks, there are so many different types of people. You have programmers, you have editors, you have engineers, you have content creators, you have designers, you have artists. There are all these different types of people that I don't think are being catered to. I even went to different companies that just make furniture and have storage units, including Container Store. And there doesn't seem to be a focus for, I think, people like me, like creator types. One of the things I thought about doing, and I had seen some actually really big content creators who actually do this, is going out and buying one of those big like Husky toolboxes, which it makes sense, right? It's this really hefty thing. It's got drawers in it. You can store stuff. I wasn't even sure how that even would fit in here, but these devices do fit in here, and they fit not only with my needs, but they fit with my lifestyle. I think the price is still pretty high. Now, I will admit, I don't know what it costs in material. I don't understand the cost of materials or manufacturing. And I also understand that as a small company, when you're making things on your own and by yourself, you have to put a product out that makes sense for not only the customer to be able to afford it, but for you to have a return so you can continue, not only just to make that product, but innovate and make new products in the future. I would imagine these companies want to be around for a while to make more products. That being said, I'm still a little unsure of almost $200 for the tower. But when you look at this device, it doesn't appear that corners were cut. It looks like they put out a good product. What you see in their promotional videos is what you get when you open that box. If I was to put a price on this that I think would make more sense, I would say like maybe $130, $129.99 makes sense to me. But almost $200 is pretty steep. That's not me saying that it's not worth it, because it is. I do like this product, and I will probably get more of them because I do like it. Since I've been using them, I have found them very useful. My studio feels way more decluttered, and the footprint is so much smaller. There's so much out of the way that you don't really notice them, but when you do notice them, they sure look really good. Now, they sent me these products for free based on me asking. They did not pay me, and they have no idea about what I'm gonna say in this video. I did not let them see this video before I posted it. So it's very important that you know that this review is in no way influenced by them, and this is my honest review. Would I get more of these? Absolutely, I would. Again, it would be nicer if they weren't as expensive, but I do think they are very nice, very good looking, very useful, and I would suggest these for someone who's looking for something cooler and something stylish and something a bit kind of out of the way. I would suggest them. So I don't know, take a look. The company's called Practiko. There could be some rebranding in the future, but for now the company's called Practiko. I'll put a link to it in the information below. And again, I'm getting nothing for this. I'm getting no kind of kickbacks. It's up to you whether you want to research this and make a decision yourself. But again, I will say I do like them, and I would definitely get more of these. So that's my feedback and my review on the Practiko Otis Tower and the hanger. I really appreciate it and can't thank them enough for obliging me and sending me these products. And I'm kind of excited to see what they come up with in the future. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.